application. Hi, my name is Oscar, and today I want to show you and talk about this application that is an AI agent-driven application. It's a hard assist risk assessment agent. The application basically evaluates a hard risk profile for people by combining the use of AI. So basically, we have an AI front end that conducts the interview, and it collects the person's profile information with social habits, in addition to demographics and so on. It also uses a server proxy to be able to handle the front-end requests with a server-side agent that actually uses a model context protocol tool. And the purpose of this tool, this is a custom tool that hosts a machine language model that actually does the risk assessment and evaluation and returns basic scores for the evaluation. We then use an agent that actually uses a large language model like Gemini to be able to read this score and create a clinical profile for that patient. Okay, so right now what you see is the application. The application is hosted on Google Cloud, Cloud Runner application, and we actually have security. I won't show you the login profile, as that takes some time, but it does have a level of security to enable you to log in and have access to it. This application takes into account several usability requirements like multi-model accessibility, and also is very secure using SSLs and also Google authentication process, right? If you can actually toggle the UI, and if you want a live version of it, you can just toggle that and you get that. But the point here is to try to make this assessment very smart and very easy to use. Instead of having a chat-driven type application, we actually create UI components that make it much easier for the person to be able to respond to this interview, get to the point where we're ready for the analysis. So here we just basically kind of review what's being provided to the agent, and we can actually just either say if we enable voice or click and submit the profile. So what's going to happen now as we submit the profile, we're actually calling the agent is calling an NCP tool to be able to do the risk assessment evaluation. As it's processing, we also provide some help tips for the individuals, right? So what the agent is going to do now, as it gets the score, it's going to get the score from the machine language model. It's going to be able to use a large language model to be able to give you a clinical assessment of what's happened. So here basically we're saying that there is no risk, and the probability score is very low. It's 4.9%. And then what you have is a clinical analysis using Gemini, and it just tells you basically your category, some of the pointers some of the information that we gave the agent to be able to evaluate it. But the server-side agent is able to read all this and basically give us this information. But how do we build this, right? It seems very complex, and how long does it take? Yeah, but what you want to do is you want to visit my GitHub repo, AI engineering, and you want to go to the Vibe coding folder right here. Right, and here I also have other projects that you can look at, but specifically for this, you want to look at the Vibe coding folder and read and take a look at the README file. In the README file, I break down everything. The purpose of this, why I chose to create this project, what does it solve, right? And basically what it's solving is helping, right? It's helping evaluate risks. It's creating a risk assessment evaluation, basically based on personal profile. It just basically also shows us that we took the approach to build this is we use Vibe coding, basically by providing by following a specification-driven approach where we actually build all the specifications. As you can see here, we have a collection of specifications for two main areas. We have the app and we have the API. And we can see all the specification documents with their respective responsibilities and area of coverage. We also build and automate the deployments, right? So this is deployed on Google Cloud. And you can see the architecture is the client-side agent, the server proxy to manage the authorization, the server-side agent to orchestrate the NCP tool, clinical analysis, and the NCP tool and machine language model. And I give you a whole breakdown of the project, how it's broken down, how we're using Docker files for deploying the application, how are we using serverless technologies for everything that we deploy. So we try to manage the cost of the application very down. So, but to build all of this, I mean, it's really an enterprise quality project that we're able to build with the power of AI a lot, and by following our specification, which is the key of all this, right? And using Google ADK as well. And also I cover cloud infrastructure, show you all the components like Cloud Runner, Cloud Functions, Vertex AI, IAM for identity management, IIP for the security of the front end, and so on. So building this type of solution is pretty extensive, right? You can take a look at all the folders where you see the API and the apps, right? And you can see some of the bash scripts that are done to be able to build the solution. This has a lot of coverage and a lot of activities. It usually takes multiple teams to build, but with the power of AI these days, we're able to basically build this in a fraction of the time. What I gathered from this experience of using specification-driven approach has always been established before, right? But now is by building our specification and detailing all the information, we can pair ourselves with a AI assistant, and we can build this a lot faster, because essentially our specifications are the prompts, the system prompts, and the user prompts that we can feed to the AI. Thank you again. My name is Oscar, and it was great to talk to you again. You take care. Bye-bye.